Algebra 1 kids, it's Mr. Murray here with another savage math video. Oh yeah, talking about parabolas here. We've talked about standard form and now we've just learned vertex form in the last few days. And we're talking about changing forms back and forth between the two. And it's really all about the vertex, so just keep in mind when it's in this form, standard form, how do we find that vertex? The vertex will be at, feel free to raise your hands or anything right here. Vertex will be, at least the x-coordinate of it will be at negative b over 2a. That should sound pretty familiar. And then once you have that, you plug in to get the y-coordinate. When you have vertex form, or some people call it HK form, vertex form, it means, hey, the vertex is right in front of you. You just got to know where to look for it. It's always h comma k. And remember, when it's written this way, x minus h, it's h because it's the opposite of what you see here. It's whatever makes the inside be 0. Okay, so let's see an example of how we go back and forth between these two. For this function, give the vertex. Right now, this is in vertex form. It's got the quantity squared there. That's vertex form. And so the vertex is going to be at 3, positive 8. The opposite of negative 3, 3. And whatever you see here, 8. The axis of symmetry, always x equals because it's a vertical line, and it passes right through that vertex, so right through that x-coordinate. And is this opening up or down? There's that negative out in front. That means it's going to be opening down. Okay, and now we're going to change this to standard form, which means you got to make it look like this. There shouldn't be any parentheses or anything like that. So we're going to take this, and if you'll notice, there's a little picture off to the side here. What is this? Foil. That's what we're going to have to do here to change this. So we've got this, and to square something means to multiply it by itself. So remember, x minus 3 squared means x minus 3 times another x minus 3. It doesn't mean just square the x and just square the 3. That's the trap to fall into. So we're going to FOIL these two. And you have a negative out in front and you have a plus 8 on the end, but I like to do the FOIL part first. So I'm going to hold off on that negative, and I'm going to FOIL these. I'm just going to kind of keep them inside one big set of parentheses or brackets here. So FOILing, just remember, was a way to get you to distribute. So x times x, x squared. Your outers here, x times negative 3, negative 3x. Your inners, negative 3 times, another negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Combine your like terms like you always do in FOIL. Those two middle terms combine, negative 3x minus 3x gives you negative 6x. Plus 9 plus 8. And now we've done the exponent part, order of operations. We're now going to multiply. So we're going to distribute this negative to that whole trinomial we just got there. So just be careful. Negative x squared, negative times negative is positive 6x, negative times positive is negative 9, and now you've got that plus 8 hanging out on the end, and now is the time when it comes into play. You're going to combine your like terms there. These are all on the same side of the equation, so just combine. Negative 9 plus 1, negative 9 plus 8 is negative 1. And that's the standard form. Negative x squared plus 6x minus 1. There's your a, b, and c value. Nice. Now how about going the other way around? That's example 2 here. You've got this in standard form. There's your a, b, c. And let's change it to vertex form. Well, I think the easiest way, there's a couple ways to do this, and one way to do it uses something we haven't learned yet if we're looking at your textbook or maybe some things online. So here's a way that uses things we've already learned. So I think this is pretty easy. Let's find the vertex first. Well, we know when it's in this form, finding the vertex is pretty easy. We're going to do negative b over 2a. remember this is A, B, and C, so that means to do negative 12 over 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. And there's the x-coordinate of your vertex. To get the y-coordinate, we're just going to go back and plug negative 2 in for x, right? That's how you find y. Always on an equation. If you know the x value, plug it in and you get the corresponding y value. So just either be careful with your order of operations or type it into your calculator. But we'll do a little old school stuff here. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. Positive 4 times 3 is 12. Just make sure to do the exponent before the multiplication in order of operations. 12 times negative 2, negative 24, minus 10. Combine your like terms. 12 minus 24 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 10 is negative 22. There's the y-coordinate of our vertex. So our vertex is at negative 2, negative 22, which means our axis of symmetry is x equals negative 2. It opens up because that leading coefficient A is positive. And now for vertex form, remember vertex form looks like this always. A times x minus h squared plus k. So y equals, the A is the same A value that you're talking about right here, that leading coefficient. It's just pushed out to the front. So that's going to be 3. Just like if you look back at this example, the A was negative 1, and what was out in front of those parentheses? That same negative 1. So yeah, it's the same A value. So 3, then you make your parentheses squared, x. And here's the deal where you're just going backwards. If you know the vertex, you should be able to work backwards and put them into the equation. This is x minus whatever this x-coordinate is. Minus negative 2 is plus 2. Plus k is the y-coordinate, so whatever the y-coordinate is, remember that's always just kind of slapped onto the end there. So minus 22. Double check yourself. This is the equation. The vertex would be at the opposite of 2, which is negative 2. That opposite relationship, and the same as what's on the end. There you go. Pretty easy, but just watch out for all the silly little algebra mistakes. Got any questions? Hit me up with an email, and we'll get this straightened out. We're doing great, I think, given the circumstances. So everybody hang in there.